Hey friends, welcome to this Jersey Girls home. I'm Becky and we are gonna make some vanilla today, so buckle up because here we go. We have a few different alcohols that have been sitting with vanilla beans inside of them, and two of them are good to filter out. I wanted to make new ones. I figured I would share this process with you because last year was the first year that I ever did this, and I thought it would be fun to share with my friends. While I remove the vanilla beans that I've been extracting in this alcohol for a year, I wanted to talk about vanilla extract all in itself and how you make it. The oomph of flavor it adds to your baked goods and product is an essential ingredient to elevating the flavors. Also, what's the difference with homemade versus store-bought? And why will I never buy a commercial made vanilla ever again? Okay, so the first thing we need to talk about are the actual vanilla beans and what you need to know about them. You want to make sure you use high quality vanilla beans. They are sorted by grades, grade A and grade B. Grade A vanilla beans are the creme de la creme. They are the gourmet level. They are oily, richer, and much more flavorful. Grade B is the standard common grade used in most commercial made vanilla products. The beans will be drier and less flavorful. If you're going to spend the money to get the beans and take the time to make the extract, you need to get the good ones. Your end product will still be much cheaper than the grade B store-made vanilla, and it will taste tremendously better. The vanilla plant is a climbing vine that grows a beautiful white orchid flower that blooms for only one day, and then it produces a pod-like string bean, which we know as the vanilla bean. The vanilla plant is grown in different places around the world, giving each variety a unique flavor profile. That's it. Whenever I've purchased vanilla beans, I get them from Costco. They are organic Madagascar. They were coming in these things that has 10 beans, and this was $20. When I was in the store last week, they are getting a lot of their holiday stuff in, and for the holidays, part of their baking thing was this container, which has 20 vanilla beans, and this was $10 for 20 beans. I actually grabbed 3 bottles of these because I knew that was such a good price for organic vanilla beans from Madagascar. It says these are grown in Canada too, which is really cool. It's a product of Madagascar, packed in the United States. I don't know where Canada comes in then. If anyone has an answer for that one, let me know. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that and what you know about it. There are actually a lot of different varieties of vanilla beans that you can use. As you can see, I used Madagascar, which is the most common, and it gives a classic vanilla flavor that's creamy and sweet. There is also Tahitian, which, from what I've read, gives a more floral flavor. There are places that describe it as a subtle cherry or almond flavor, and that it does really great with fruity desserts, and it has a very strong vanilla flavor. I would love to try that. I just haven't gotten them yet. That is on my bucket list for vanilla extracts. There is also the Mexican vanilla bean, and it's a very woodsy, spicy flavor. It is different, so if you're looking for something unique or new to the flavor profile, then that would be one to experiment with as well. Now that we've clarified the importance of vanilla beans and what kind you use, what flavors, quality, let's move on to the liquor, because that is another important ingredient for you to make your vanilla extract. The liquor needs to be a 70 to 100 proof alcohol. If it's below 70 proof, it will not extract the flavor, and then you will just have an infused liquid versus an actual extract. If it's above 100 proof, it is likely to damage the bean flavors and not give you what the extract that you're expecting. So some common ones, the most common is vodka, which is not what I used because I didn't have it at the time, but vodka, rum, bourbon whiskey, brandy, Scotch whiskey. When you put together your liquor and alcohol, you want it to be in a certain proportion, which would include 1 ounce of vanilla beans to 8 ounces of alcohol. And that is for the standard vanilla extract recipe. If you want to make a double fold, you're going to use 2 ounces of vanilla beans with 8 ounces of alcohol. And if you want to do a triple fold, it would be 3 ounces versus the 1 ounce. It is not necessary to do that, but if you would prefer a much stronger vanilla flavor, then that is what you can do to achieve that goal. There we go, that's good. The vanilla extract I put together using Scotch whiskey still needs to sit and simmer some more in the dark. Not cooking, just aging, since this one I didn't make until January 17th of this year. While I have it out, I want to show you what I like to do every week or so. It's very easy. I just open the jar, close it, give it a good shake, and set it back in the cabinet to age some more. So let's see what we're going to make this year. This year I do have vodka because I bought this for making vodka sauce that I made in the summer with my tomatoes. And now I'm going to use the rest of this for making a new batch of vanilla that'll be good to go next year. Last year I made a batch of vanilla extract using rum and another one with brandy. Then in January, I made a batch using Scotch whiskey that we received as a Christmas gift. We don't drink alcohol, so the only reason I ever buy alcohol is for our recipes. So I thought this would be a perfect time to try something different. Now I have vodka that I can try. And since I also heard such great reviews about making vanilla with bourbon whiskey, I thought that I would give that a try as well. So I went to the store and bought that too. Okay, so for this jar, I am using a little over 2 cups of vodka, and I'm going to use about 5 beans per cup. Because remember, you want to use a 1 ounce of vanilla beans to 8 ounces of alcohol. So I cut them open so the alcohol can penetrate the insides quicker and easier. And I cut them in half so that they'll remain fully submerged under the alcohol. You don't want them sticking out. If they're sticking out, you need to cut them up into smaller pieces. It is really great to be able to make them homemade and kind of play with the different flavors to make an extract that you love, or even just make it so that it's not always exactly the same. I'm going to have a lot of different liquors going here with all Madagascar vanilla beans, and I think that's pretty great. I, at some point, want to try the Tahitian vanilla beans, but for now, this is what I have, and this is what I'm going to work with. And hopefully over the years that I'll get to see what the Tahitian ones taste like, and that'll be really cool. Very excited. So you can see that that's good. I actually put 9 in here at the moment, and then I end up adding 1 when I make the label because I felt like I just needed. You guys can help make pizza? Vanilla bean. Just, your heart is calling you the food and it tells you what to do sometimes. And so I went with the 10 beans. So I'm just going to label here what the vanilla that I'm putting into what liquor and the date that I'm doing it so that in a year I know exactly what I did, when it's ready, and that I'm good to go. Another thing to keep in mind is that when you are making your vanilla extract, the beans are fully extracted within 6 months. So it isn't going to take anything more out of it, but just like wine, I'm just gonna add 1 more. It's going to age more. So the longer you age it, the better it will taste. So I will leave my beans in with my liquor for 12 months or 1 year. This would be like and then after that, I will extract, or I will remove the vanilla beans, and then that'll be set. And you can see here I missed recording this one, But here is the bourbon whiskey that I did, where I added the 10, and I have the 10 beans in there with the liquor, and I am going to fix that jar so that nothing is sticking up the liquor. It wasn't when I put it in there, and then when I shook it, it was, so it still needs to get trimmed some more just so I don't have this issue down the road. I just think it's fun to make the vanilla yourself and have something that homemade. And I was thinking this year, since I got these at such a good price, that I would possibly make a bunch so that I can hand them out as gifts next year when they're ready to go. Okay, friends, I'm gonna get the rest of these used ones into my fridge so that I can dehydrate these tomorrow and make some vanilla sugar. Yep, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I went and I bought this alcohol. I am going to make another jar so that there's less liquor in the liquor bottle. And I'll get the vanilla beans in a jar with that alcohol. And then I can just put the remaining beans right into this alcohol jar. And this whole big jar will be perfect for gift giving next year. And then I decided it would be a good idea to make my vanilla just a little bit stronger. So I added a couple more of vanilla beans to my other jars as well. So we ended up with 6 beans per cup of alcohol. And from what I measured, it looks like it comes pretty close to 1 ounce, just a little bit over, but not a double full. So this is about 5 cups in here still. And for the rest of it, I'm just going to cut these up and dump them right in here. This is 25 vanilla beans. And from this container, I will be able to separate it into smaller containers when it's done extracting and give those out as gifts next year. And if you remember, I had set aside the used vanilla beans from my extract that I made last year, and I set those aside. I am going to make the vanilla sugar as a gift for this Christmas. I saw Becky from Acre Homestead. After she made her vanilla, she took the beans from the extract, she dehydrated them, and then put them in sugar. And so I looked up how to do that. And so I'm going to reuse the vanilla beans to make vanilla sugar. No waste. Everything's getting used tremendously. And I think the vanilla sugar is going to make some really, really, really good gifts this year. So all I had to do was get these vanilla beans spread out on some parchment paper and dehydrate that for a few hours. I think I did like 3 hours and it was perfectly dry and good to go. I added my sugar to a container. Then I added all these vanilla beans. Remember, they're split in half. It looks a little bit more than it is. And then I used these containers to divvy up a cup of sugar with a full vanilla bean, and that will get mixed up for Christmas gifts. All I have to do is sit it, shake it, and that will be ready to go. And I think I'm going to get some nice Christmas containers to put them in for the gifts. So I will see you again next time. Thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen, and I'm so glad that you came. Bye.